This was mayhem. That don't look good. It is not rocket science. Couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. Bloody clueless. You're foul. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
He's gone. They've killed Bambi. Stop all the clocks. He was my north, my south, my east, my west. It's a historic and tragic event. For the first time in Apprentice history, a project manager has abdicated. In an event that will echo down through the ages, we commemorate with a very sombre edition of The Apprentice, You're Fired. Joining me to get to the bottom of an event which has shaken us to the core, basically. Tonight's panel, advertising entrepreneur Dave Buonaguidi, best-selling author Marion Keyes, and comedian Mark Watson. Welcome to You're Fired. Tonight's task of creating an advertising campaign for a dating website led to one candidate being stood down by Lord Sugar.
Jason, you're an academic. You've come here to chance your arm, but I'm afraid to say that it's the end of the road, really. With regret, you are fired from this process.
Thank you very much. Please welcome Jason Leach.
If they carry on, I'm going to have to hide under the table.
You may have to hide yourself. You're scared now by the chair. But Jason, how do you feel? Are you bereft? Are you forlorn, dolorous? How do you feel at such a time?
I think a nice and plain and simple word, relieved, actually. I think I was quite sort of... it was very nice whilst it lasted, but I think I'd reached that stage where I was ready to go, actually.
But was it traumatic, the experience of it all? Was it difficult? The actual, and by which I mean the abdication, the handing over the throne, the...
I think it was a very difficult time because it was dreadfully serious, and you have to sort of think, what do you do when you are in that position? What do you do for the best of the team?
Because the question is, I mean, when it comes to Friendships and Flowers, were the women and children saved?
Well, in Louisa's hands, they were by the end of it.
Let us note the historic precedent here, the first ever project manager to relinquish his crown.
Why did you give up the project manager's position?
If I were in charge of the sinking ship, my first concern would be all the women and children there.
Okay, all right.
The team and that victory is the first and most important thing. And I think that Louisa does have that commanding voice.
You can't change the project manager.
No. Yes, you can.
Am I actually hearing this?
I would like to be project manager.
I'm in a nest of vipers. Everybody here has blood on their lips. I took the courageous decision to make sure that
That's
the team...
courageous.
I think that courage comes in many forms.
Jason, I think you've lost it. Louisa, your project manager from here on in.
Congratulations, because this is the first time we've had an abdication of a project manager in all the years that I've been in this ballroom. Total bloody mess.
But there was peace in our time afterwards, wasn't
You
there?
did achieve that, yeah, but you were Mr. Cupid in Oxford, and you set up a dating website before.
I didn't set up myself. I ran it. I ran the Oxford sort of part of it,
Right.
And it was the second sort of largest organisation in the whole university. It was we had thousands of members. It was very
successful.
successful. So it seems automatic that somebody who has experience of these things should be dropped right into that sort of position of leadership, and then you're lulled into this false sense of security, and then the stress of the whole process starts to rip you apart.
You didn't say to me someone who's being lulled. At no point was what was going on between you and Louisa struck me as a lulling effect. I mean, you were there, of course, there. You saw the presentation, you saw some of the work they're doing. I mean, in general, were you shocked by the events of tonight's show?
The row when you were walking through the centre of the office, I remember seeing that
Was
live.
that the talk of the office?
We had business stopped for about 3 weeks. We just talked about it. No, but it was interesting because obviously a modern business tries to be very collaborative, and I think when we saw that row, I think that's probably the first time I've ever seen a row public in our office before. So it was quite weird.
Marion, what did you feel?
Jason, I love you. These are sad times that we live in. I thought it was incredibly noble of you, and it was an audacious decision. And, you know, ultimately, it was courageous. You know, it could even have paid off. So I think fair play to you.
If we had carried on with the same setup, where you have Louise on the one hand, Neil on the other, and me sort of bearing the barrage of both, the whole ship would have sunk. Women, children, dogs, cars, a lot. Down at the bottom, there'd be a salvage operation really to find
Mark,
whatever
do
was
you
left.
think this is a noble act?
Like everyone here, I was crushed by the events we saw. But I think the funny thing is, I did actually agree that it kind of was noble. It was done for the, as Louisa said, the greater good. She said it about herself, though.
You did a noble thing, but if you hadn't jumped, there was a pair of hands ready to push you at any point, and very happily ready to push you.
I decided that it would be better that Louisa take over.
No, that wasn't how it happened. You buckled under the pressure on the first day, gave up.
I'll tell you what happened, because I was there. Lisa nipped at his heels like a little terrier,
all the time,
nipping the heels of a bewildered sheep, and you drove him into a corner.
We're going to have to make a decision and go now, Jason.
Do we want to change the grade?
Jason, we really have to make a decision. Right, are you going to go with this?
It was the most disgraceful display of bad manners I've seen in many a long day.
If we spend all day like this,
Do we want to
we're going to get
encourage?
absolutely nothing done. Make a decision and stick with it.
That's what worries me about you. You browbeat this fellow here. I can see how you wore him down. You're not going to wear me down, I promise you.
I feel exhausted just watching that.
I know. Well, if at any point you suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, I'll understand. By the way, they didn't look much different, the different colours you chose for, like, you spent 45 minutes veering between really similar colours for a logo of the website.
Louisa wasn't really letting me sort of veer very far. It was sort of, we want the funereal, we're doing... Listen, it's the over 50s, they're ready to die. You need to make it either black and white or just some purple, really deep purple. That's it, Jason. Do you get it? If this were a case where Louisa and I could focus together, come up with an idea, it would have happened, and it would have happened fast and well. And I think this is what's important about creative decisions, that you take a little bit more time, perhaps, and nail it, and make it right. Because if you get the idea right from the very beginning, then it'll carry you through, and everything will unfold in place
True, but
perfectly.
you did have to get to a web design company, and it left you with a website that, with the best will in the world, looked like that. Yeah, and, you know... John sounds like a great guy, right? I mean, there he is. Oh, yeah, he's found love. Why is he on the website if he's found love? Antique collecting, yeah, like old coffins and whatnot.
I like, though, that his motto in life is no regrets.
Oh, they're great. He drives as well, which is very important. To people in their 50s, they have a clean licence for some reason.
One would be surprised that he can drive, being over 50.
Yes, well, these are the things you've heard
According to
about these people.
some judgments.
Marion, in your eyes, how does Louisa come across in this?
Oh, well, I mean, I took again Louisa weeks ago when she did the "don't hate me because I'm beautiful." There are ways she could have handled it. You know, she could have, you know, not kind of made it so public and made a show of the pair of you. You know, she could have quietly said, please, you know, can we not just? Instead of this kind of constant, incessant wearing you down. So, no, it was poor, very poor.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I think she behaved pretty badly. I mean, you know, the whole team dynamic needs everybody to pull together and back each other up, and I think you did faff. And I don't agree with you when you were talking about, you know, sometimes you need to take time to make these decisions. When you've got time, when you've got a certain amount of time, you have to hit those targets. You were 2 hours late for a meeting, and as an entrepreneur, 2 hours late, that kind of messed you up for everything else afterwards is pretty unacceptable. But she could have been a lot more supportive, but you could have pushed back, and I think it just all collapsed under itself, really.
Louisa is a very able person. She really is. And I think there are times when she is very nice. And I think by the end of it, when we hugged, I think it was a very genuine thing.
Your relationship with Louisa has at times seemed like a very long marriage. At times it's difficult to know whether you love each other or hate each other.
Pleasure, my dear.
I love Jason to bits. Can't listen to you speak anymore, Jason.
Put little earplugs in your ears, have a snooze, and I'll carry on.
Should we get some pink napkins, Jason?
Yes.
They're red, babe. The theme is pink, and this is red.
This is pink.
No, Jason, this is hot pink. Oh my God, are you going to be sick, babe?
Fine.
Jason, squat.
Okay.
Ready? Let's do it.
She's a very vibrant, glamorous individual.
Let's please get that grunting. She has wonderful, lovable aspects to her. It's very true. I don't want to take any of that away from her. Definitely not.
What a gent.
Yes.
What a gent.
Yeah.
But it's true. I can't lie. I really can't lie. It's very hard for me. No, but it's true. It's like digging this sort of huge pit for myself, and all I see is niceness at the bottom of it.
You're just having your belly tickled. Say another nice thing, Jason. That's fantastic. We are going to enjoy the work of the fantastic advertisement for Friendship and Flowers.
Friendship and Flowers, the perfect way to meet new people and share your interests with budding friends. Whether you're looking for friendship or romance, our easy-to-use website dedicated to the over 50s is a perfect way to let friendships grow roots and romance blossom.
Who would have thought friendship
and flowers
could have brought us together? I found friendship and romance. Join today for a 1 month's free trial.
OK, you said it was flawless at the time, was the exact word you used.
Flawless with a double O and an R, where you drop straight through the flow, loose and grabbing you, disconnect, and you'll just let you in. To be fair, I thought it did have a certain grace, it did have a movement, a pace. It did work, I think, quite well by comparison to the other advert. I think that it was that particular wink, though, which
difficult to find why the wink didn't work. I know, no offence to the lady in question. I know this is Francesca's idea, and Francesca pushed her to randomly choose an eye and throw it slightly because you think it would be one eye and then it was the other eye. And that's the bit I found surprising because you turned and you expect it's got to be this eye. It's got to be this eye. No, that eye. But that completely threw me. It was the wrong eye.
It was all so civilised and they were all so nice to each other, but then what's the wink for? Are they going to have sex? Because that, whichever eye it is, normally insinuates something good's going to happen.
It does, yeah.
There might actually have been originally 2 adverts, one for before the watershed and one for very, very afterwards on the XXX channel, which you had to pay far too much for.
So hang on, so it was a Friendship Flowers, there's another F that comes after Friendship. This is the progression of it. Could you possibly see how this is, taking your time, signing up for Friendship and Flowers?
Well, you see, your idea, your concept was absolutely wonderful because, I mean, 50 is the new 29. And I mean, you knew about 50s being vibrant. I'm going to be 50 in a couple of months. And, the people who were on the ad looked like they'd been embalmed. There was nothing for me to identify with.
The focus group people
Yeah.
were noticeably ready to die, as you said yourself. When you're saying a 1 month trial, I don't think I'll need that long. I felt like that set an unhealthy precedent, which wasn't Jason's fault, that for the rest of the episode, that everyone talked as if over 50s was some sort of different species. Francesca was saying, well, we don't know these people. We don't know what they do. Do they have clothes like normal people? Do they go on holiday? And over 50s, not that old.
Essentially, I think we had a totally different idea. We were going down a totally different path before the market research came in.
The thing would have been interesting was to give them insights into what is the difference between your brand and anybody else's brand. Why would they want to go there instead of anybody else's? And you didn't go with insights, you just went there with ideas, and that's a different thing.
I suppose my problem really was that, if you're trained as a historian, you can't ignore the facts, I think. And I sort of saw market research as sort of hard evidence, and I thought, well, if the hard evidence is telling you this, you can't avoid it. There's no alternative. Gut instinct, in a sense, is making it up as you go along. And maybe there is much more of that, as you say, in business, in advertising, where, sometimes you can second guess and you can come up with something which is trend-setting and avant-garde. But I'm hardwired to sort of say, no.
Was that but you're an academic. He makes stuff up professionally for a living. That's his job. He lies all the time. He could be lying right now about lying for a living. We don't know. He's a strange man to bring on in some ways. He could just make up stuff. We've no idea. I don't even know if that's his real name.
I wouldn't choose a name like that. If it was
Who'd be Buonaguidi? But it sounds cool. See what you did. Nice. OK, Jason, your finest hour came last week when you rose to the selling challenge impeccably.
They sold 3 of the folding campers.
Can you send Jason back in, please?
Could you go back into the boardroom, Jason?
Don't have such a worried look on your face, Jason. I forgot to say one of those sales was down to you. Well done.
I hope to keep impressing you.
OK, good.
Delightful, wasn't it?
It was the best moment ever. And it just goes to show, you're the master of the soft sell, the gently approach. You don't have the killer instinct, and that's lovely. That's something to be applauded. And you still sold a camper van.
I mean, it was particularly, by the way, we did notice the score.
She was lovely. She was lovely. She whispered sweet nothings in my ear. I was enchanted.
You were away. Yeah.
I was away.
Yes.
Yeah, you're way and a half there. To be honest. Yeah.
I hope she sort of bumps into me again. We had a whale of a time.
Would you start with friendship and then move on to flowers? Have you enjoyed the journey that Jason's been on?
I think it's been brilliant. I think he's a real character. I think you've got lots of integrity. I think you could have done a lot more to help yourself, but I think you're a thoroughly decent chap.
Very kind, thank you.
You're the human equivalent of a scented candle. You may not be entirely useful, but you make everything seem lovely.
Jason, let's hear what Lord Sugar and some of your former colleagues have to say about you.
I was shocked by Jason's decision to abdicate as project manager. This was the chance for Jason to really prove himself and build on the success of selling a caravan in the previous week. But he allowed himself to be browbeaten and threw in the towel.
When someone tells you that they've got the expertise and that they've practically done this, why wouldn't you back them?
He couldn't handle the pressure, it was weak in his decision-making, and he's poor overall.
This process is about giving a wide range of people the opportunity of proving that they can be an entrepreneur. But Jason had too much to learn, and although he's an awfully nice fellow, that's why I fired him.
Lord Sugar clearly likes you. He didn't necessarily want to invest in the money into you. I mean, what was your business plan? I mean, what you've done? Is it property that you're in?
But what I pitched was a property consultancy. I mean, what I wanted to do was to create a one-stop shop where anybody walks in and they have whatever issue that they have with property. They want to move home, they want to move country, they want to buy to let, they want to renovate, they want to do whatever it is that they want to do. They just go to one place and it's all sorted, simple, effortlessly, without any stress whatsoever.
We've been speculating for weeks, or there'd be something really horrible.
Well, I had originally this idea.
You own like a mine of blood diamonds, and all you need is...
Well, that was actually the original idea, but somebody said, do you know what? I think, small children, they haven't got the nails yet. They've got to grow older. And I thought, well, you can't wait too long, really. Let's do something different. Property, yeah.
Safe enough. OK, we're going to have a look at the winning team now. When it came to the photos, Leah seemed a little reluctant to give it her all.
What are we going to do for a shot?
I don't know.
We need a man.
We're gonna have to do you looking lovingly into a man's eyes. Full Romeo and Juliet, yeah? How about we get someone to take a photo of me and you?
No, Miles, we need someone who looks younger. Just like really happy, really jubilant.
So exciting and brilliant, everything's going great.
I mean,
You're so funny.
Right, maybe if you could put your arms on his shoulders.
Like this?
As if you're sort of gonna kiss him. Yeah, not like you're allergic to him. Yeah, could you look a bit more wooden?
What?
You're wonderful.
It's like when you were like this.
I thought it was really natural.
It's like you smelt of poo or something.
Leah looking giddy, not how we normally see her. Did she do well in this task?
I thought she was very good at that kind of process stuff. I think what she lacks is obviously, as she showed there, being empathetic and emotional.
Yeah, and Mr. Monaco, Miles?
He's fantastic. I mean, there's so much to dislike about him. And, you know, there's the tan, there is the Monaco-ness, you know, and there's the 39-year-oldness. I think it'll be many, many years before he celebrates his 40th birthday. But yet, he does the job, and he's likeable and he's slick without being oily.
That's very, very true.
I think he's one of the most investable characters.
Leah?
Leah, I think, is very able as well, and I think Leah will go far in whatever she does. I think she's got a very interesting business proposition as well.
OK. Well, Jordan did something that we weren't expecting to hear. Jordan finally revealed the inner pain that drives him.
I am a woman who works really long hours in the city, and I don't want to have to go out to a bar and sit there and wait for men to come and talk to me. I want to be able to go onto a website and choose the people I want to interact with because I am a strong, sexually liberated and high-powered woman.
Marion, please tell me, as the only woman on the panel here, did that speak to you on a profound level? No. OK. He's won 7 out of 8 tasks.
Yeah.
I mean...
I think he did very well getting out of your team. I mean, he had a real result there. But in a way, you know, he did really well. And whether he delegated or not, he got everybody to do what they needed to do, and he won.
He's a very safe pair of hands. Very, very safe pair of hands.
Alex, as ever, was keen to offer up what we call in the industry a strong visual.
You have to show someone turning up who doesn't look like you thought they'd look, and they act, and they're just really annoying. We've got Alex on our team.
Would he be the bad date?
He's brilliant for that. He's literally made for that role.
No, but I don't know.
He's Welsh Mr. Bean.
You want a bit of this? I'm pervert. It's supposed to be a scary date, so if I'm scaring people, it's working.
Don't scare the kids.
Chinese water torture
Yes,
after
it wasn't.
this.
Yes, it wasn't. Don't have nightmares, people. Do you need someone, and Alex, do you need someone who's going to be gung-ho and take on this city?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's brilliant. I mean, he's mad and looks like a vampire, which kind of helps, I think, if you've got something that makes you more memorable. But I think, you know, at least he dives in and gets involved.
He loves to just get involved. What are we selling? Milk? Yeah, take my milk. He's so Route One. Well, just give him something and he'll yell at people.
And you can't dislike him.
But they won't elect him ever to be team leader.
Why is that?
It's probably
because
worth it
just... Because of the eyes and that stuff. No one looks up to that. It's great to have. It's funny. Yeah, go on. You get mascaraed up and act like a freak in a park. That's not like the key to success.
I misheard it when he said, I'm Herbert. I thought he said, I'm a pervert. And perfectly plausible.
On an advertising level, by the way, that ad...
I'll tell you what was nice. At least it had an insight that was very real about bad dates. It had the most memorable aspect of it all, which was Herbert. Personally, I mean, it was a pretty cruddy idea, but at least they went for it.
OK. In last week's episode, Jason, we caught sight of your special friend.
Lord Sugar is sending you on a business trip to meet a client in Dubai.
Bloody hell. 2-day business trip. Pack your bags. Somebody find my teddy bear! You've returned back to me.
Surprise. Please pack an overnight bag.
Pack an overnight bag! Good night bag. What do we need? Most important thing? Big Teddy. I've been together for many, many years. He's helped me through many emotional difficulties and has provided great support. I don't think I could have become the person that I am without Niall.
What I think is particularly sweet is that he's here with us tonight. And he's wearing a tie, especially for the show as well.
Of course.
That's good. I'm not interviewing the bear. Okay, there are only 4 weeks left now. I'm going to go to you and think, who do you think will make the final? Dave, who do you think is going to make the final of those who are left?
I like Miles.
Yeah?
He's beautiful.
He's ripped as well.
He's ripped.
He is
He lives in Monaco. He's everything I wish I was.
Anyone else?
Leah. I'd like her to win. I think she's... I like her drive and her ambition. I think she could learn a lot, and I suppose that's the whole process of this whole thing, as we all try and work out what we can get better at, but I think she's got a really interesting nugget.
OK. Marion?
Jordan, I think, because he's done nothing wrong. And I really like Alex. I think individuality should be rewarded. He marches to the beat of his own drum. Give him a go.
It's very easy to say about somebody else's money, that, isn't it? Come on.
I agree Alex would be a great finalist. That might be the only way you get to be project manager as well. But of the women, I think Leah is the most likely finalist now. I don't think it can be Francesca because her face is so angry. She's just... If you came in and she'd, like, been delayed on the tube or something, you'd think she was about to shoot you. And I think Louisa and Francesca will ultimately kill each other, leaving Leah. So I think... I did like... This is how much of a Jason fan I am. I came in here quite liking Neil, but when I saw that he was mean about him and said he was... Hey, overall, he's poor. Neil is dead to me now.
OK, now we're going to put you to the vote. Back to Jason here. Would you have fired him in that circumstance?
You're a nice guy, but you had to go.
OK. Marion?
I still love you. But yes, you're too good for this.
Mark?
I think he had to be fired after what we'll call the abdication, yeah.
OK, over to the audience here. If you agree with Lord Sugar, hold up fired. Red. If you disagree, hold up hired.
Red.
God. I think that's green. It's hired. Even though you yourself would have fired you say. Listen, we were wondering what to get you for some time, and we thought no man as louche as you can ever have enough pyjamas. So we've got you a very special pair of royal pyjamas, but they're in the back. On the back it says, I did it for the good of my team.
I shall wear them with great pride, and I shall always walk backwards when I'm wearing them.
Just imagine you're in front of Lord Sugar, because you walked backwards when you left him as well. It just feels like he was the Queen or something. Jason, you've been a real favourite throughout this series. We have an embarrassment of riches for your highlights.
Jack of all trades, that's me. Can we even do a little dance? We'll do a tango, my dear.
There is nothing so beguiling as a 1-2.
I'm not run-of-the-mill, that's for sure.
My mum would love him and all her friends at patchwork class.
I mean, you seem an awfully nice fellow.
Quite nice, really.
My dear, love is what it's all about.
I have pedigree, I have sophistication. Are you not ecstatic? Be delighted. Can we tempt you with 2 or 3?
OK.
Take this, hold this, move there.
But don't sit.
Mount the steps.
Not you, Jordan. Somebody average size.
I can blend into any environment.
A big bird, and you put it on your arm and it flies away.
One arm, just fall. Onwards.
Jason is he's a good boy. We're gonna run like hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Lee. And that's it for tonight. Thanks to all of my guests. Now, I have some exciting news for all budding and current entrepreneurs. If you've got a great business idea and would like the opportunity to be Lord Sugar's business partner next year, go to our website at bbc.co.uk/apprentice, where you'll find all the details on how to apply. You'll be in with a chance of securing a £250,000 investment, so please give it a go. In the tradition of royal souvenirs, the Apprentice Times front page is also on our website, where you can print it out and keep it as a keepsake of this momentous occasion. It's the sort of thing we know you'll want to show your children and grandchildren in years to come. Next week's task, to create a new ready meal, leaves one candidate not being to Lord Sugar's taste.
The ready meal market is worth over £1 billion per year.
I sure as hell can't cook.
I don't cook stir fries. I don't like healthy, horrible food.
Bats, blood, zombies' eyeballs, Dracula's dinners.
Dracula bolognese at Christmas. The food looks powerful if it tastes powerful.
We've done it. I don't know what passata is. Potatoes.
Homicidal hummus.
Let's not reinvent the wheel.
It's horrible.
See you next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Good night.
And Jason will be chatting to Greg James tomorrow afternoon from 4 on BBC Radio 1. And guest Miles Jupp joins Dara for Mock the Week tomorrow at 10 here on BBC 2.